So almost no one gets into carpentry and woodworking these days without soon hearing about pocket holes or pocket screws. These innovations have sort of dominated the topic of joinery for 30 years, and that's due to the fact that they're so prolific and so easy to use. And yet, for as much as pocket screws get talked about, they still remain sort of a mystery for newcomers. I felt like there needed to be an introductory video for new carpenters and woodworkers to simply explain what these things are. So today I'm going to talk about how pocket joinery works, why it exists, and what it's good for. And that's coming up next on the Honest Carpenter Show. Since the earliest days that people began working with wood, we've struggled to find ways to bring boards together securely. How do we attach pieces to one another so that they won't separate under force or strain? This process of joining boards together, known simply as joinery, takes on 100 different forms. You have really simple methods, like making a square butt joint with fasteners driven through one board into the other. Then there are methods of using intermediary pieces to join boards. Things like dowels, biscuits, and splines sit in pre-cut holes where they're combined with glue under pressure to hold boards in place. And then you have very complex joinery methods, where the pieces you're joining are actually shaped to mate with each other and lock together securely. You do this with dovetail joints, mortise and tenons, half laps, and other intricate cuts. But the thing is, all of these methods pose their own unique problems. Simple joints often leave fastener heads exposed, and they aren't necessarily very strong. Biscuits and dowels, on the other hand, are strong and pretty easy to use, but they can require messy setups with a lot of clamps and can take a long time to bond. And many of the fancy joinery techniques, though beautiful and incredibly strong, just require far too much experience for newcomers to do well. These are the frustrating realities of joinery. And for years it seemed like joining parts together would never get simpler, until these things came along. Pocket holes. Pocket holes and pocket screws reduce the act of joining boards to a process so simple and so fast that even newcomers can do it in minutes. So, how does it work? And what are its strengths and limitations? Pocket joinery basically combines custom drilling jigs with custom fasteners to create a strong toenail joint almost anywhere that you want one. If you watched my toenail effect video, then you know that toenailing is sort of a universal method for driving a fastener at an angle, sometimes a steep angle, to connect or fasten pieces. Framers do this a lot when nailing boards together at a 90-degree angle. But toenailing is often harder to do with screws because they grab much more aggressively and the heads tend to be very large and thick. They'll protrude drastically on the surface of a board and may cause splitting if the hole isn't carefully pre-drilled. So pocket joinery is a method of quickly producing really clean, extremely effective toenails in boards. Typically, proprietary pocket tools and drill bits are used with any common drill to create the pocket and sink the fastener. The king of all pocket joinery companies is Kreg. They've existed since 1990 and their products have expanded to include dozens, if not hundreds, of pocket hole tools and accessories. They vary in complexity, but they basically all work the same way. The tool allows you to pin or clamp a drilling guide against a piece of wood. Then a special drill bit, usually a 1/2 inch thick with a spur on the end, chucks into your drill. By aligning the drill bit with the guide, you can activate the drill, apply some pressure, and bore a 15-degree hole very cleanly into the face of the board. Every pocket hole jig and drill bit have carefully calibrated markers and detents that let you account for the thickness of the boards that you're drilling into. This is very important because it aligns your pocket hole exit point with the center of the board thickness where it can produce the strongest connection. And it also won't overdrive the fastener. Once the hole is drilled, special screws with large truss or pan heads can then be driven through the pocket hole into the bottom board you're fastening. A long custom driving bit gives the drill itself clearance to sink these fasteners. The pocket hole has quickly and easily given you the fastest alignment for the fastener. And it has hidden the head of the fastener down in the meat of the board. So now the hole can be filled and hidden for a flush surface. Custom pocket plugs exist that can fill the remaining hole with wood or plastic, or the pocket holes can simply be placed on a face of the board that won't be seen and can therefore be left unfilled. Many cabinets and pieces of furniture employ pocket screws this way. They create face frames or bring together walls with fasteners simply hidden on the backside and left unfilled. Not only is this process very easy, it's also insanely fast. With my smaller field Kreg jig and custom clamp, I can work my way down the edge of a board making 6 pocket holes in less than a minute. My friend Logan Parker of the Heirloom Builders channel does it even faster with his older bench-mounted model, of which there are numerous upgraded versions now. And the toenail screws create a surprisingly strong connection. You can reinforce these with wood glue even further, but it's not always necessary for every joint, mostly just certain butt joints. So no more boring slots for biscuits or drilling holes for dowels, no complex clamp setups with a lot of glue, and no intricate handcrafted joints. That's the magic of pocket joinery, simplicity. Anyone can learn it in minutes and instantly start incorporating it into their builds. Now, there's a lot of discussion in woodworking about whether pocket screws are strong enough. Companies like Kreg claim that they're actually stronger than dowels when used properly, but many seasoned woodworkers out there claim that they're not. For my part, I think that they're plenty strong for many applications, but not unbreakable if they're stressed at the wrong angle. So I frequently combine mine with glue and install them in pairs where I need strength. That helps a lot, and the jigs are actually set up for these double screws. But I have used them extensively for various doors and boxes where I need a nice finished surface quickly. The custom clamps in particular make alignment a breeze and prevent headaches. So that's how pocket joinery works. In the future, I promise I'll do videos on tips and tricks, best practices, and even mistakes. But I thought we needed a primer just to get things started. Let me know what you think of the video down in the comments, and feel free to post questions. Also, I'm going to link some pocket hole tools below. Feel free to shop those links, and remember that when you do, we receive a tiny commission at no extra charge to you. As always, thanks for watching. Be sure to check back in for more videos coming up soon, and please consider subscribing and hitting that bell button to turn on notifications. That way you'll know the moment we post something. I'm Ethan James with TheHonestCarpenter.com. I'll see you next time.